In this tutorial, we'll create a proposal deck for a fictitious company so you can see how to easily create animations and movements of images, shapes, and words with PowerPoint Morph. We will walk through 3 common real-world examples: presenting a case study, presenting your methodology or approach to your project, and then presenting the investments for the project. The key to Microsoft PowerPoint Morph is that it works across slides. It's a transition effect. So we'll get into that as we progress here in the tutorial. So if we take a look at our deck, and we'll put it in presenter mode so we can walk through each slide. This is the case study section. So it begins with a picture of the office building. Then we use Morph to bring the text in from the bottom left and shift the image to the right a little bit. Then we shift the image to the top, and here comes the text from the bottom to talk about the project features. And then finally, the awards that the firm won with the architectural design of the building coming in from the right. So let's look and see how we can do all this. We'll start with a fresh blank slide, and we're going to basically copy all the elements of this slide into that one. So I have a white shape rectangle here and an icon. Paste those all in, and we want the image. So all of this is done. I'm going to send that to the back with just one image, this picture here. So let's duplicate this slide. And what we want on slide 2 is we want the end result of the box becoming larger, the text coming in, and the icon leaving, and the image moving to the right a little bit. So to do that, we begin with our image, rather our shape, I should say, the white rectangle. So let's move that over here and make it a little higher. We want the icon to come out of the scene. And to manipulate the image, we go to our crop tool. We're going to hold the bottom right and our shift key and move that image to the right. And then our crop window, we're going to move all the way to the right as well. The final part of the puzzle is the text. So the text has to live on the slide prior, and it's going to be out of the scene. And then what we do, copy it over here, we bring it in the way that we want Morph to bring it into the slide from the left. Now we go to our transitions and select Morph. And we see the transition here. But we did notice something here. See the line here at the bottom? Yeah, the image. So we need to make this box just a little bit larger to cover the image. There we go. Let's do that transition one more time. That's what we're looking for. We repeat that process. Duplicate the slide. Go here. And now we're going to want the white box to go all the way across. We're going to want this text to come out of the slide. We're going to want our image not to show the sky here. We want to see the building. So back to our crop tool. We're going to crop the window where it's just above our white box, and then we're going to move the image. Hold the shift key and move the image up right here to the bottom. So now we see the bottom part of the office building. Last is the text. So the text that we're wanting are these 3 text boxes here. They're going to come into the slide. And then we have to copy these to our prior slide and drag them down out of the scene, like that. So let's see the transition on this slide. Excellent. And we'll duplicate this slide. And we'll work on our final design. For this one, we want the box and the text to come out of the slide. So we'll select these, bring these on down. We're going to want the image to move to the left, so back to our crop tool. We want the full image, so we'll bring this image on back down onto our slide. We will move our crop window down as well. And we want to move this to the left, just to the edge of that food truck. There's our image that we're looking for. Finally, we need our text. So we'll go copy that from our slide. And then we need to copy this to our prior slide and bring it out of the scene. All right, let's see Morph. Nice. So let's run it through all 4 slides. We'll put it in presenter mode. And we'll click on the slide. Text comes in from the lower left. Let's move the building to the top. And there's our features text. And then finally our awards fly in from the right. So 4 slides and 3 transitions. Next, we will work through our approach to the project, or our project methodology, and talk about how we can get this design by using Morph, where we'll have the actual steps of our approach moving down the line. So this also can be used for a timeline in any of your presentations as well, to let you focus just on one step at a time as you're talking. Okay, and our next section is our project approach or methodology, whichever term you prefer. And here we're going to have 3 slides. So let's go ahead and begin the process. We are going to create a new blank slide. And we're going to duplicate the elements. So we have an image. We have our title and line and a text box. And then we have a line with 3 shapes and our corresponding text boxes. Okay, so a couple of things to point out here. So the active section that we want to focus on is in dark black. The other 2 phases of our approach are grayed out. And then we have this text here that corresponds to our discovery phase. So that slide, we don't need to do anything with transitions. That's what we've designed. What we'll do is duplicate the slide, and we'll work on the next elements, which are now making the implement phase dark and lighting the discovery phase. So that'll look like this. So let's go ahead and do that work real quick. So for our shape, we want our shape fill to be our dark gray. And there's our white font for the number. Our text, we want it to be the dark gray as well. The discovery phase text, we're going to make the light gray color. And then we will change our shape to have white fill. Our outline will be that light color, and our font will be the light color. And then we need a different text over here that describes our implement phase. So let's replace that. And we need, that's about it, actually. So let's take a look at this slide with, looks like I still have the outline as well. So let's make that outline our dark gray. There we go. All right, so we'll add our transition, the morph transition, and we'll see what this one looks like. All right, so we see that these fade in and out, and that's not what we're wanting. We want this shape to move on down the line like we have over here. So let's go show that one again. When we click on it, see how that moves down? So how does this work? Well, let's take a look. Let's go into our home here and go selection pane. And we want to take a look at how these are named. So we have this shape being called active step with 2 exclamation points on it. If we go to the second slide, we notice that that one has the same name, the active step. So morph, when you're dealing with shapes and morphing a shape from one to another, it has to have the same name associated with it between the slides. So let's go ahead and try this. So we have our active step there. And we see here, aha, that shape is not active step, the other one is. So what we're going to do is copy that. This is step 1. And let's change the name of the step 2 shape to our active step. All right. Let's see the transition now. And that's what we're looking for. So that's the key to your shapes, is making sure that the shape that you're wanting to morph has the same name as that shape on the prior slide. So we will duplicate the slide one more time. Go about our design work here. So our shape format, we want the shape outline to be the dark color as well as our fill. We want our text to become our dark gray. Let's go make our changes to our implementation phase. Off to the light colors. And our shape format, the fill is going to be white. Our outline is going to be the light gray. That gives us what we need there. And we're going to want to have our implementation text over here. And of course, we want our shape to be active step for the name. So we're going to copy this one. This is going to become step 2. Step 3, it's going to become our active step. And let's see the transition. There we go. So let's put it in presenter mode. And we'd be talking with our client about our methodology, our approach to the project. The first phase, we work very close with you to discover what you're looking for, what are going to be the critical elements you need in your design plan so that we can reach your goals. As we move into the implementation phase, we architect and build the environment to achieve your desired outcomes. This is all about that construction. So we leverage many different aspects to implement the project for you. And then we wrap up on the transition to make sure that your team is well equipped to maintain this new investment of yours throughout its life. So we're able to go step by step, one at a time, by using Morph to put the emphasis on the step that we want to focus on. Our final example is the investment slide that we would go through with the customer or the prospect. So let's put this into presenter mode. And what we want to do is have a conversation about each of our 3 options with our customer. So we start by talking about our advisory services and what that all entails. Then we turn our attention to our interior design option. And finally, the architecture service that we provide. So we go one by one, again, by using Morph on all 3 of these slides, and then we can just bring the table together and show all of them at the end for the client. So let's walk through this example in detail. So same pattern, we'll insert a new blank slide. We will copy all of our slide elements into the slide. And what we'll see here is that same approach to naming conventions because we're working with shapes again. So let's take a look at our selection pane. And this shape here is, we're calling it active investment. And then within that rectangular shape, we have these text boxes. So it's just a normal rectangle shape that I've turned in there and added some color to it. And then have a text box with some white text inside of it. So let's go ahead and select both of these and copy them into our slide. And then this is just a text box. These 2 are. So there's no shape associated with these. They're just regular text box with the light colored font. Okay? So that's our first slide of our investments. So let's go ahead and duplicate the slide. What we're going to do is for this one, all we're doing is moving that over to our next offering. We'll go back and go to our selection pane. There's our active investment. If we go take a look here, active investment on slide 1, and the same active investment there on slide 2. And what we're going to want to do is copy our text for our advisory services and change the font color. So we actually don't need to copy it, it's white right now. So we'll just select our text box and change the font to be our light gray color. So let's see about the transition here as a morph. And there we go. Moves it right on over to our second investment option. So we'll duplicate again and repeat this process here on the third slide. Go ahead and close the selection pane, move this over to our architecture, line it up, and let's see the transition here. Easy enough. So let's play our slideshow. As we discuss our investment options with the client, we focus on our advisory services first, have a conversation about that one. Then we'll turn our attention to our interior design capabilities. And finally, our architecture services. So one at a time, we get to guide the conversation, have a rich dialogue with our clients. The key to Microsoft PowerPoint Morph is that it works across slides. It's a transition. Once you understand this concept, you can plan out your design with images, shapes, and text to achieve elegant transitions that guide your audience along your story so they can make decisions in an easier and more confident manner. Great communication requires great design. PowerPoint Morph is an easy-to-learn skill that will enable you to take your presentations to a new level. Now, there is another critical factor for great design that we didn't get into in this video, and that is having a basic understanding of the 4 principles of design and how to use grids so your design utilizes those principles. This next video will walk you through the 4 principles while overlaying a grid to show you how we use them in this presentation.